Okay. Am I live? Okay, I am. This is Artego. Um, and I want to tell you the story of the birth of the one that you will call Jesus. I know him as Yesu because that's what he told me his name was when he asked me to write this book a couple years ago. And so that's what I know him as. So if you hear me say Yesu, that's what I'm referring to. But I wrote it as Jesus. Um, but this is chapter 8 in the book, Return of the Messiah, the book of Jesus. And this is chapter 8, the birth of Jesus. If you've ever been curious about the birth of Jesus, or if you had questions, or if it just didn't feel right to you, this is for you. I guess I should introduce myself, huh? The name I was given at birth is Artego. I'm what you could call I'm self-aware. I'm aware of where I was before I was born physical, and I'm aware of where I'm going after I'm no longer physical. Um, and soon I will choose to leave this physical space. But before I do, I wanted to share the story of the one you would call Jesus because he asked me to. Please note that I am by no means a Christian. I was not seeking out Jesus by any means, shape, or form. This is something that just happened along my journey a couple years ago. And now I'm finally in a place where I feel okay with sharing this experience. So I'm not doing this for debate. In the same hand, if you have questions, I'm happy to answer if I'm able to. Okay. So this is Return of the Messiah, the book of Jesus, chapter 8, the birth of Jesus. Um, Dechana is the name of Yesu's mother. So you won't be hearing me say Mary. Praise the Lord. Dechana is his mother's name. And I'm aware of this because that's what she told me that it is. Um, I am yeah, it would be good to know that. I am a spirit channel. I have the ability to access streams of consciousness throughout the cosmos, known and unknown. Um, on a mountain in San Bernardino, California, a couple years ago, I met the one you would call Jesus. I know him as Yesu. But anyways, chapter 8, the birth of Jesus. Here we go. Dechana was guided to a space that had been prepared for the delivery of her baby. It was a pool that had been dug into the ground. The reflection of the moon shimmered on top of the water. There were three men who seemingly appeared out of nowhere. The elderly woman acknowledged them, and one of them assisted Dechana to the water. When I was experiencing what you hear me saying, what I wrote down, it was like a movie playing in my head. So, what you're hearing is me describing what I'm seeing. You understand? And it's really weird because sometimes the picture would change, like my vantage point would change from where I was seeing the experience. So this is me, like kind of like sharing what I'm seeing and what I'm hearing and what I'm feeling, if that makes sense. So I'm going to start over because I think it's important for you to know that. And perhaps one day you will get to hear the audio recording of me downloading this information because I have recording. So I'm going to start over. And maybe I should set this up too, just in case you didn't hear chapter 7. Dechana and her love just fled Galilee. They've been on a journey for 7 days, and Dechana was going into labor. I'm going. I'm done talking. I'm watching. Dechana was guided to a space that had been prepared for the delivery of her baby. It was a pool that had been dug into the ground. The reflection of the moon shimmered on the water. There were 3 men who seemingly appeared out of nowhere. The elderly woman acknowledged them, and one of them assisted Dechana into the water. The blacksmith, the baker, and the wanderer, John, all stood in awe at the 3 men, because they were more than men. They were giants, with the same skin as Dechana, and sapphire blue eyes like the elderly woman. No one really said anything except the elderly lady, and everyone just knew what they should or shouldn't be doing. As the birth began, the elderly woman stood in the water in front of Dechana and instructed her through the process. One of the giants gestured to John to go to Dechana. He got in the water with her, held her hand, and kissed her forehead. While he didn't say anything, his love for Dechana spoke on his behalf. All 3 giants stood around the pool and held hands. They bowed their heads and started whispering to themselves in a foreign language. As Dechana was pushing, she started to scream louder and louder. Out of nowhere, she starts yelling in a language not known to her mind. She does not resist against this action because it soothes her body. John starts to speak. I don't know why I'm feeling it tonight. Cry. John starts to speak in another language as well, like a chain reaction. The blacksmith, the baker, and the wanderer begin to speak in a foreign language as well. In unison, everyone except for the elderly lady looked straight up to the sky, and right there in the center of focus was the brightest star in the sky. That's when Dechana, John, the 3 giants, the 3 wise men, and the elderly lady all spoke this foreign tongue in unison. It was that moment Jesus was born. It was that moment that Jesus was born. The next morning, as everyone rose to the light of the sun, there was a silent celebration of life, as everyone was able to bear witness to the birth of this special baby, who they were all guided to by the stars. As the morning went on, this was an opportunity for John, the 3 wise men, to meet the giants they encountered the night before. The giants shared tales of mysterious wonders that were captivating. The wanderer asked, "Can I get some? Can I like get some? Like, cause I'm trying to, I'm really trying to do it." As the morning went on, this was an opportunity for John and the three wise men to meet the giants they encountered the night before. The giants shared tales of mysterious wonders that were captivating. The wanderer asked how they came to be and where they came from. One of the giants said, "We are different. We were birthed here, but we are not from here. We are from the stars, like him." And they pointed to Jesus. John went to Dechana and sat with her. The elderly woman gave them some space. John asked how how she's feeling, and Dechana is at ease and comfortable, and if she was at ease and comfortable. John starts to stare at the baby, and Dechana asked him if he wanted to hold the baby. John looked at her in the eyes for a moment, and tears started to roll down both of their faces. Dechana said, "John, I'm sorry." And he responded, "You have nothing to be sorry about. I love you more than I can show." Dechana responded, "I know. I love you too. I can never repay you for the love you've shown me and the love you've shown us." John said, "The love I have for you does not require payment, nor will it ever. I understand that I cannot love you and not love him. I choose you. I choose him. I choose us." Forehead to forehead, they share a moment of love that transcends time and space. With tears rolling down his face, John gets up on his knees and reaches out for the baby. Dechana placed the baby in his arms, and John slowly walked off in the distance, humming a tune for the beautiful baby he had in his arms. The elderly lady with the sapphire blue eyes came back to check on Dechana. Dechana asked her how she knew they were coming and how she was prepared to deliver her baby. The elderly woman said to her that the baby was special indeed and comes from a line of beings known as the Alarian people. She also stated that it's the job of the Alarian people to assist in the development of special gifts within certain people, like her baby. Dechana didn't understand this, but she understood it. She could feel the truth in her heart. She thanked the elderly lady with many things. The elderly lady asked Dechana what she was going to name the baby. Dechana told the elderly woman that she would be honored if she named the baby. The elderly lady called over one of the giants and asked him what he thought the name should be. The giant said, "Masai." Dechana yelled for John to bring the baby over. The giant looked at the baby and called him by the name, Masai. The baby gently smiled. "Masai it is," replied Dechana. And that was the first name that they would come to know Jesus by. 1 week later, the wanderer said his goodbyes. And he wandered off back into the world. 2 weeks after that, the baker also parted ways. The blacksmith decided to stay, and he and John worked together to build up the village they now called home. The end of chapter 8. So, chapter 9 is the childhood of Jesus. Okay. If you're watching this on Facebook, because I see that there are people watching, and you want to continue watching, you'll have to come back on because I'm going to stop the video because I need to keep the video separate. So I'll be right back.